Okay, so I guess I'll go and ask my question. So I just wanted to first say that Dave is probably like my favorite non-Hargreaves character in the show.
Oh,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. I really love the way you played him. So I don't know if this question has been asked before. If it is, you might be able to have a different answer. But I wanted to know if, while filming his character, maybe while watching season two, is there anything about Dave, like his personality, his backstory, or anything that you've kind of made up for him that we didn't get to see in the show?
Um, not as much. Yeah, like I know that a lot of fan fiction connects to that stuff. For me, I think the thing that I did when I was playing it was really the music I was listening to. If I was in my trailer, it would be sort of like what album is Dave going to listen to that would have sort of came out that way too. And so yeah, there was like Four Tops, like I said, a lot of ended up being a lot of Motown. So maybe that's my thing. I really still hold on to is Dave's sort of love of music, and it's great though too because I think I wasn't even really thinking of it within the context of the dance scene, but yeah, it's that I think that love of music, and again, it's sort of selfishly a quality of mine I maybe brought in.
Okay, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello. I'm
Hi.
sorry to change the mood all of a sudden, but I have a very controversial question for both Cody and Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put cereal or milk first?
So controversial. I don't know if this is taboo, but I do the cereal and then the milk. Is that
That's the
okay?
right that's the right answer. That's what I was expecting. You're off the
Is
hook, Cody.
is the milk and then the cereal into the milk the like sociopath way about?
Yeah. That's just wrong. That is so wrong in so many ways.
I mean, if Caleb does it the opposite way, there's gonna be pure chaos here. So hopefully he's in lockstep with us here on that.
Caleb, you got anything to say?
It's the cereal.
Cereal
Okay.
first. There we go.
Um I, I also just
You're
wanted to say
unanimous.
I also just want to say you both did so great. I loved both of your works. So yeah, very proud.
Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else? Don't be shy.
So I think it's my turn. I
Hi.
hope it. Hi. Yeah, it's finally working. Hi. Okay. So, how you doing? I hope you're having a lovely evening. 3 a.m. right now in Austria, and I'm pretty tired, but I'm
Oh,
pulling through.
well, I appreciate you showing up so early or so late, I guess, depending on when you went to bed.
Well, I slept 3 hours, so it's good.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm starting my questions. The first one would be, how do you think Dave would react to the future if he would have the chance to maybe time travel with Klaus to the future?
Yeah, I've thought about that. I imagine he would probably be a little overstimulated initially. I feel like our society, we're bombarded with a lot more stimulus than back in the 60s, so that would be a bit of a learning curve um, for Dave. I mean, the internet would blow his mind, as it rightly should, along with, I mean, iPhones having more technology in one little device than anything he's encountered. So it'd probably be a bit of a culture shock, I think. And yeah, we'll see. We would see how much like Klaus would rein that in, or if he would just sort of throw him right into it. But yeah, I think it would be a
Oh,
bit of a culture shock jumping forward that much time.
yeah. Oh, I definitely think so too.
Hmm.
Okay, so my next question would be, do you think that the first kiss that they shared in the bar, was that their first kiss? And how long into the tour did they realize they had feelings for each other and started their relationship?
Yeah, I definitely think for your first question, it was definitely the first kiss. And I think that would have probably been a couple months into the tour.
Hmm.
Maybe the feelings were probably mutual quite early, but to be able to act on that, they would have had to obviously be in a really private situation and really sort of gauge both sides. Like, when you like someone, you're kind of still, even if they're giving off signals that they like you, you're like, is this, but do they really like me, kind of deal. I think there would be probably a bit of that still. So yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it would be a couple months at least into the tour before this happened.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. I mean, they have to be pretty secretly about it, I think.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not that
there's some
pretty dangerous.
tactics to it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. My last question would be, how do you deal with all the fan love you get?
I don't know. I'm just really appreciative of it. I really try to make an effort to connect with everyone that I can that reaches out. Hopefully, sort of it's indicative with the way I interact with people on Twitter, and um, yeah, I'm just really grateful. It is obviously really surprising, based
Hmm.
on, when I did the show, I didn't really know what to expect, and so for it to be as big as it is, it's sort of a pleasant surprise. And everyone has been so incredibly positive. So I really have no
That,
complaints, and I just feel really, really kind of grateful to have this little support system, and hopefully I can be the same for everyone on Twitter as well.
yeah, no, you definitely are. I can tell. So, yeah, thank you. That was all that I have.
Well, get some
So,
sleep.
thanks for taking the time. Yeah, I'm gonna head to sleep now.
All right. Well, thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for asking my questions and yeah,
You're very
thanks.
welcome. Yeah, take
Bye.
care.
Hi, Cody.
Hi.
Hey. So, I have a question, and then I'm gonna ask you another question that one friend asked me to.
Awesome. Well,
So, my question is, wait, actually, I'm gonna tell you something first. It's kind of crazy, right? Because your character has like not a lot of time in on screen, but people really love him, and
hmm
we all here have created like his whole personality based on that scene. Like there are a lot of feats about Dave and Klaus, and there's actually one feat called Neon Girls that is it kind of describes the time they spent in Vietnam. Have you ever heard about that?
I haven't, no, but I know there's obviously a lot of like fan fiction things behind the scenes, and I mean that's great. It's like people can take it and run with it. That's the exciting thing about this character, like you say, since he isn't in the show a lot, that people can sort of extrapolate and make their own backstories. Why not?
Yes, yeah, we're freaking out here because you have made so many references to this feat while you're answering questions like the music thing. It's something really present on the Young Girls, and everybody's like wondering if you heard about it or not.
Oh, wild. See, it's a little serendipitous then, I guess.
Yeah, so the other question is from Jamie. She asked me to ask you if you think Klaus and Dave had like doubts about the relationship because of where they were, the war and the period and everything.
hmm And
You
what do you mean? Did they have doubts in their relationship, or was it
No,
more
I
a kind
mean,
of
do you
fear?
think Dave kind of tried to, I don't know, push Klaus away because of the war? Like you lose people in war.
Yeah, I mean that would have been tricky, and you're right. I think that in some ways, Dave might have had to have been the voice of reason in terms of like what is that going to look like after the war. But someone had mentioned earlier that maybe they were trying to be optimistic, and I do think that Dave is that kind of force that he's like love will kind of prevail. So I think that maybe despite it being a bit of an uphill battle, I imagine from Dave's point of view that he would have wanted to do something to make it work, whether that be sort of live somewhere remote, or maybe go to a more metropolitan city where it's a bit more accepted, or maybe he believed that connecting with Klaus's family might be more open-minded based on how Klaus would have talked about his family. I think that definitely, despite this sort of circumstances, I think Dave would have probably been hopeful.
Yes, and do you think Klaus told Dave about his family and the future and powers?
I'm not sure how close to the vest Klaus would have kept that stuff. I think that it might have been a bit of a shock to Dave. The thing is, though, like, when Dave first meets Klaus, it's under sort of a strange circumstance, right? Like, Dave clocks that something strange has happened, and Klaus sort of appears. Like, he sort of catches the tail end of Klaus's appearance. So I think that he understands that there is there's something different about him. Um, how much Klaus would have opened up to that? He could have maybe been a bit more abstract about it, potentially, that he could have talked about his family, but maybe not in the sense that they're in the future. Maybe he had alluded to it. I think that there is a built-in understanding, though, with Dave, that there's something different about Klaus, and that I think when you love someone, you do trust them. So maybe it wasn't explicitly talked about, but there would have been a trust to be like, okay, well, wherever you go, I'll follow. Do what, wherever that means.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if Klaus would be able to hide that is a really big part of his life to the person
Yeah.
he loves, the only person he loves more than himself, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he did let Dave in on that. And yeah, it's interesting too, because now thinking about it, even when Klaus brings Dave back, um, Dave isn't really surprised per se, other than the fact that he's just excited to see Klaus. But based on the circumstances that Klaus is in that moment, Dave isn't sort of put off. So you're right. Maybe Dave has sort of been told about some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Cody. Good
Yeah, you're
night.
very welcome. Take care.